And we killed it. All of it. That's the thing with God. These fiery messengers, they're going to come, but they'll come in the name of God. But they'll come and they bring destruction. And they're coming in many different forms to do nothing more than to destroy one another. God's creation says, surely, surely, the world will be burned away. Not because of God, because he was willing to lay it down for a friend. Not only willing to lay down his life, he laid down creation to his friends. It will be us who destroy the earth and ourselves. You know, we want to change the food through DNA and genetics. You want to destroy everything. Surely, surely, you will say. A basket of wheat for a day's pay. You surely starve to death, all of you. You don't trust God. God's food wasn't good enough, so we made our own. God's son wasn't good enough, so we made our own. But we destroyed ourselves in the process. That's the thing with Jesus. With Jesus, there is no sin. But the Word of God was to save us from our flesh. Jesus says, if I didn't come, all flesh would have been lost. Now you see that there's flesh here. There's names here. There's flesh and there's blood here. There's spirit here. There's love here. There's many names here. If I hadn't come, all flesh would be lost. Right? That's the thing. We gotta recognize. We can't save the world, and we can't save our friends, and we can't change anybody's mind. We can't force our love on anyone. Can't force you to love me, can't force you to care for me. And you can't force me. It's willingly. Are you willing to do this for your brothers and your sisters? Anger is murder. There's no greater amount of hate than to say to anything made by God's creation, anything made by God. I mean, all human beings are made by God, and everything God made is perfect. And if we say in our heart, somebody's worthy of an eternal fire, one day this ends. The suffering of this world will come to an end. But the eternal fire of a hell, and saying that people belong there and are worthy of it, of a never-ending punishment. How much more hateful can we be? How much more hate? Here we can put an end to our suffering, but there is no end. And that's where you go, jerk. A never-ending, that there's no greater amount of hate than that. Anger. Than in that. Who would say that other than the devil? The devil. Because God is love. God loved the creation so much. He said it was good. And then he blessed it. And that's the thing. God is creator of life. Blessing. A blessing is like a free gift. He gives out free gifts. And so if our heart condemns us, God is greater than our heart. Right? So if we're walking around and I'm afraid to be naked, right? I'm afraid to be naked. My heart condemns me. Why did my heart condemn me? I did something wrong. Doing something wrong. So I'm afraid that if you knew what I was doing, you'd judge me. Oh, where does that come from? Fear, judgment, punishment. And God's greater than your heart. Right? Now, if we're with God and we have no fear of being punished, then we're His children, because God's not going to, destroy His children. He may chastise them. He may, give them a spank on the butt and stuff, but He's not going to destroy them in an eternal fire. Rather, He's going to burn off those things that are creating problems here on earth. We're the problem. This body's the problem. It's sin, and it wants to sin. Its desire is for sin. That's why it's so tough to not have a mate hugging on you and kissing on you and all those good things. Because that's what the flesh desires. All those things. Why? Because God put those desires into our heart. But we can obtain all those things through the Spirit. Now, God's creating a thing. He don't like divorce. So He's created a way. Let's get together through the Spirit. We're going to take away the flesh. And if you could be best friends, because that's the thing with marriage, you don't really go get married. In the Jewish tradition, they take a glass and they throw it on the ground and Hazeltop, we're married. And really, there's a bunch of meaning behind that. But anyway, that's it. That's it. That's Mary. That's my best friend, and I want to live with him forever. Right? My best friend, not my best sex mate. My best friend. He's not the best looking guy. He's my best friend. He's not God. She don't have the perfect body. She's my best friend. So God creates a way so that you can create friendships. And if you can't create a friendship and be best friends here without the body, what are you going to do when the body comes? It's full of sin. It ain't going to work. It fail. So first thing you got to do is make a friend. And then you make a best friend. And then from that best friend, and that's what Paul's saying. I'd rather y'all didn't get married at all. But if that yearning love of fire is in your heart that desires it so bad, I'd rather you get married than burn in the fire. Right? But if you could separate the flesh and come into the Spirit, you would never be hurt by anybody, because you'd have Jesus Christ as your husband who never fails you. And we say, and I do it all the time, that sucks. But it doesn't suck, and that's what God says. Exactly. Don't reject me. Stop rejecting me. Love for my children. Right? So we got to separate the flesh. We create a friendship. We create a best friend. And then we can get married. And then we can have sex. And when you follow that rules, you will have an eternal relationship of love. See, Jesus Christ is the best matchmaker because He knows all His children. He knows their hearts, their minds, their desires. Now you see the devil in his play in this too. Yeah, well, I found my soulmate on the other side of the world. Yeah, see, now he comes and divides us up. Gives us names and titles. You can't go over there and meet your soulmate. You're an American. They're Chinese or whatever it may be. He divides you, separates you, creates, sorrow. Because if you are united with your soulmate, what do you need God for? when he created the soul. But he also created the mate for the soul. He's looked at Adam and he said, Adam, I see you're lonely. Go throughout all the world and find you a mate, find you a friend. And Adam went out into the world and began looking and naming all creation and all the animals and the birds and the fish, and he gave names to everything. And everything he gave names to, that was its name. But he could not find a friend. Could not find a friend. So God took from his being, I'm going to make one just like you. Just like you, in your likeness. Right? Are we all made the same? No, we're not all the same. We're very unique, huh? But if we have one likeness in mind, yeah. I want to live in love, in an eternal love, with my soulmate. And Jesus says, well, if you put me in the middle between you, that's eternal love. Because if any time two or more come and gather together in his presence, in his name, there he will be. There he will be. And he is love. He's love. You know, that's the thing with love. Is love, living life to until old age and looking into the eyes of your loved one, your husband or your wife, for the very last time. They're 90, 80, ready to pass to the next life. Is that love? Being there with them through sickness, through the birth, through health, through the good and the bad. Because when we come marry Jesus Christ, isn't that a wonderful thought? Yeah, I sure want somebody that would love me through my sickness, through my bad health, through my sorrows. And he says, yes, I will. Are you willing to accept my love? And then are you willing to give it back? Give it back. Because he says, okay, now if you love me, your husband, wife, then do what I ask. And love each other. Right? And we're going to feed each other. We're going to feed each other. Hope, faith, love, gentleness, kindness, mercy. I can't find a guy like that on earth. I know. We destroyed him. He came and we killed him. And that's why you can't find him here on earth. And that's the reality. He said, surely, surely all flesh will cry out one day for my return. But unless you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, he surely will not return. Right? Those who trust in God are rewarded for that trust. Right? You gotta believe God exists to receive the miracle. That's the thing. In the beginning, God was the Word. And that Word was with God. And the miracle was, when God spoke, all things came to be. And he was pleased with what he made. Let's not be angry with God. I want to read to you a little story and tell you a little story because it's all relevant. That's the thing. How are we going to get through this life? Those who know God are going to reach up and grab his hand, and to those who don't know God, they're going to reach out another hand. And pretty soon, all together, we're going to hold hands. And we will rise together. Yeah, that's the thing. Jesus says, We're worried about this rapture thing and the end of the world. Don't get away from the end of the world and the rapture. You know, he says, I am the resurrection. Right? He says to Mary, I am the resurrection. And the dead shall rise. Do you believe me, Mary? Right? Do you believe me? And he came. And he rose. That's the thing. We see there in the book of Revelations, all the earth is going to be destroyed one day. And everything on it. He came. And he rose. In body. And he says, see, I make all things new. I want to tell you a story. I did not write this poem or this story, but it's a beautiful story. I believe it's from heaven. The story is called Barefoot. The village got raided and all the people got captured or killed, except for 2 little children. The boy who could not see and the girl who could not walk. Neither could have escaped without the other's help. The miracle of their escape is their vision and determination. The lame girl was guiding the blind boy through wide fields, forests, tunnels, stairways, doorways, while the boy was carrying her sight. The ruins of the abandoned castle is the last safe place left for them to start a new life. That's the thing. You know, Jesus gives us the vision. What is the will of God? That all men be saved through Jesus Christ. He gives us the vision. He gives us the mission. Go make disciples of all nations. The vision. And then he gives us the feet. And he says, I will carry you. And I'm going to give you the vision. And I will carry you. Come on my back. Jump on my back. And I will carry you. And that's the thing we got to recognize today. Is he not carrying us? Are we in the vision? And if we know the vision of God and he's carrying us and he's swooping us together, grabbing us all in, you know, what are we doing? It says if you're gathering, you're with me. But if you're scattering, you're not helping. It says gather. Come gather. Right? And what is going to get us through this life? Our hope, our faith, and our love for one another. The only way the two could escape was those things. I can't do it without you because I'm blind, forever blind, says the Word of God. Can't get out of this life without you. These raiders, these bad people all come to destroy our town and everything on it. How are we going to survive? Faith, hope, and love. I'm blind, but I got feet. Will you be my eyes? Will you carry my vision? As I carry you, guide me through this life. You know, that's the thing with God. He's always raining, you know, manna from heaven, things of the unknown, stuff that sticks with us all our life, that molds us and shapes us to be who we are. whether we're good or bad. Sometimes life breaks us down. So all we can feel is bad. Doesn't make us bad. It's what we feel. So the devil told us, and I believe him. The devil says we're not allowed to enjoy this earth because I own it. Jesus says, I bought and paid for the earth. Now I gave you the courage and the strength. Who do you want to believe, Satan or God? And he says, in the end, nobody believed God. Everybody destroyed Jesus. And then everybody destroyed his creation. But what is love? While we were sinning, God saved us. That's love. While we were destroying him, he saved us. While we were destroying this earth and his children, the flowers and the trees, he forgave us. He saved us. That's the miracle. He provided the broken castle for them to take refuge in. The broken castle. Where's God going to come take refuge in? Where is the kingdom of heaven? The kingdom of heaven is in your heart. Did you not know that you are the temple of the living God? I made this broken temple to find refuge in.